Hey, welcome to New Jump City, everybody, where we recap the week in American and Japanese sequential art. I am your host, Christian, the unbiased king. Aspinall. And joining me through Discord, as usual, it is my co-host, my partner in crime. It is Joshua. Gangsta Time Cole.
It's called partner, but it should be called Gangsta Time.
What up, Chris?
Hey,
what's
buddy.
good, everybody listening?
Oh, yeah. Also joining us is our producer, my brother. It is Edgelord Big News Brian.
Hey, what's up, nerds?
Hey, oh my goodness. We are back. I say this every week, but man, it really does feel like a long time has passed since our last episode. I'm so glad to be back on the mic with you guys.
Where?
What's that? What did it look like? I'm not, for the record, I'm not an Eagles fan. I just own many NFL paraphernalia. Well, mostly hats, but I don't know. If you guys want to know, wait, what? Oh yeah, the meme.
That's they violated.
Yeah, sports fans are particularly very, very mean, and they don't even try to be mean in a clever way. They just will just shit on you on a reptile brain level, and it hurts your feelings every time.
You smell like doo doo.
Yeah, kinda.
Last
See?
one. Last one.
That's like so primal. They're just like doy.
It's so petty and childish.
For real. But whatever, man. It's time to be nerds now. We don't have any manga this week. We are just doing a straight American comic episode.
Straight American comics.
Straight American. This would be So, have fun with that. We're going to do the X-Books today, a little bit of Daredevil, maybe talk about some other stuff. We'll see. We'll see how we feel. But let's get into plugs and get the show started. You can find me at the Chris Espinal on Twitter and Instagram. Joshua Cole, where can they find you?
JD Cole _37. That's on Instagram as well.
Ooh, yeah. Brian?
Oh, yeah.
You can find me at b.esp on both Instagram and Twitter. If you ever want to catch me when I'm streaming, you can find me at twitch.tv/itspunchline.
Oh, yeah. That's twitch.tv/itspunchline. I just didn't know if the audio went through there, but I wanted to make sure you guys heard it because Brian's a great streamer. Very entertaining boy. Follow his stream. You can follow the show itself at New Jump City on Twitter and Instagram. Follow us on Twitter, especially because we do a weekly really good chapter of the week poll for our manga. Not this week because there was no manga, but follow us anyway. Cast your vote. Let's not have every manga lose embarrassingly to Black Clover every week. I want some variety.
Embarrassingly.
Yeah, last week was crazy. 71% of the vote. It wasn't even close. But in any case, cast your votes. Let us know what you think. Subscribe to us on YouTube, please, if you like the show. Comment, smash that like button. Do all the things that all these influencers tell you to do when you like a thing. Support it. If you prefer audio podcasts, we are also on iTunes, Spotify, Pandora, Amazon Music. Any platform that has podcasts, we're more than likely on there. So check us out. And I think that's it. Oh, email us at newjumpcitypod@gmail.com with any questions, suggestions, anything you guys want to talk to us about, any criticisms of the show, help us make it better, something that you guys would want to watch. Let us know what you think all the way around. Comment below. Also, if you're watching on video, comment and let us know what you thought about this week's comics. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into the show proper. It's time to start the show.
Bloody Cross.
The X-Books. I think we have 4. No, we have 6 today because we're doing the books from last week and the books from this week. So I think we had 2 last week, 4 this week, if I'm not mistaken. But we'll find out today. Let's get into it. We're starting off with Marauders number 22. And this is the most direct, I guess, epilogue to the Hellfire saga, seeing as how it had mostly to do with the Marauders anyway. So a little bit of the fallout is happening with them. We start off with the news circulating all around the world that the mutants have colonized Mars, and they're like, yeah, everybody. Well, that's not what the human race kind of feel. Everybody's like, well, they took over Mars. And meanwhile, we also get a reminder that Scarlet Witch was also murdered at the Hellfire Gala, presumably by Magneto, but we shall see.
Presumably.
Yeah. The next page is just a splash page of a nearly naked Emma Frost communicating with her daughters, the Cuckoos, who are still on Mars partying. And they come back to Krakoa, and they find Wilhelmina. I'm sorry if I mispronounced.
Wilhelmina.
Yeah, Wilhelmina. Sorry, she was one of the Verendi kids, the former Hellfire kids, and the Cuckoos awakened her inner psyche, I guess. Which I thought was like what they were doing was that they're like, oh, she was like a secret Cuckoo sister that was like undercover, but I was wrong on that one. And they arrived to her to find her with a dead penguin, which is mega depressing. I didn't.
In English, they're called puffins.
Is that what? Is it that? Is it just a different breed of bird, or they're not penguins?
You know what? I don't know. That's a good.
No. Puffin is.
Good question.
I think the puffin has that beak. You're right. I think it is a puffin, but puffins are not penguins. Brian, could you verify whether puffins are penguins or not? That would be nice.
Verify that, please.
I would need to know. I need to know what the proper species of this dead animal is, so I can mourn it properly. Because either way, it's pretty cute, and I'm very sad that it's gone. But yeah. Meanwhile, back at I guess the council room.
Puffins are not actually penguins.
Oh well, I still find them cute all the same. All right. At the council, quiet council room, Sebastian Stan is back. Why did I call him Sebastian Stan? Sebastian Shaw. Sebastian Stan is Bucky in the MCU movies, but Sebastian Shaw is back on his feet, no longer needing the wheelchair. So that's good. And now he's talking to Emma about like, hey, so about my wife, can we resurrect her? And can we please get my wife back, please?
Whoo, boy, are we in for one hell of a fucking ride.
Yeah. This is when Xavier comes in and telepathically communicates with Emma about about the whole situation, and it's real awkward. I mean, the second Xavier pulls into any conversation, you know that it's either going to be all right, it's going to be good, or it's going to be bad for the other person involved, and there's no in between.
Yeah.
Xavier only works in extremes. So we also get this big old backstory on Wilhelmina, how she killed her mom by pushing her out of a high-rise window in New York City. Her biological father doesn't seem to have any contact with her. There's a big there's little sections of this place that are redacted, leading her.
Huge chunk.
Yeah, and explains how she kind of came to her fortune, where she inherited her mom's stuff, and that's how she got rich. So all that stuff. I didn't read this last part. Yeah, it just kind of her origin story to a degree. But the Stepford Cuckoos seem to have wakened, I guess, her like empathy, for lack of a better word. They found that she has like some deep trauma hidden within her, so they just kind of like repaired that trauma in her mind. And ever since then, she's just been like losing her mind over the things that she's like tortured over the years because of her, I guess, thirst for blood after killing her mom.
I think it's kind of implied that like the dad did shit to her.
Yes, yeah.
Too.
That's the kind of the next thing that's kind of the next thing that's revealed is that like they dig deeper into her mind, and it seems that she was abused by her father. Presumably like sexually assaulted by her father.
I guess that's why they had the bunny ripped up. I mean, I think that's supposed to be some kind of symbolism, unfortunately.
Something like that. And so the Cuckoos are like, let's go fuck up your dad. I guess presumably.
Yeah, we know exactly where he's at. Let's get him.
Yeah, we found your dad. You want to go beat the shit out of him for a while? And
Well, help me, you know.
yeah, and they take her along. So
Good.
that's cool. It's kind of interesting that they're doing this for the Verendi kids, who are historically absolutely terrible to mutants. But anyway, back at the council, Sebastian's just like, all right, what about Lourdes? Can we get Lourdes back? And Emma's like, yeah, okay, so about that, you believe your wife can be resurrected by sending a Cerebro back in time, but I think you're wrong about that. He's like, no, we just turned Mars into a fucking beautiful place. You're going to tell me you can't send a Cerebro back in time? And,
Bro, I did the math. I know what the fuck I'm talking about, Emma.
yeah, and Emma's like, yeah, no, she can't. She is ineligible for resurrection protocols because she never died. And Sebastian takes 2 whole panels to kind of absorb this information. It's actually kind of funny. He's like, what? And we get this entire backstory of the night that Lourdes supposedly died. I am unfamiliar with this story. I assume Josh is as well.
This is what happened at the first Hellfire Gala.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
Exactly. Neither of us has really read it. So this is, I guess, technically a retcon of what happened that night. Apparently...
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, apparently
Definitely
Lourdes approached Emma Frost on the night of the first Hellfire Gala, and she approaches her with a black eye because Sebastian is a wife-beating asshole.
Yes, like a few players on a certain team.
Yeah.
On a certain position.
Yeah, what team are you talking about there?
Bunch of tall people, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I guess that would make sense. The tall people tend to... Anyway, so Emma basically is like, all right, well, I got a plan. And the whole Hellfire thing goes down as, I guess, in canon during the Hellfire Gala. At some point, Sebastian Shaw starts choking her out. And, and I'm like, whoa.
No, that's not funny.
It's not funny. It's not funny. The acting itself is like, you're just abusing your wife in the middle of the Hellfire Gala, dude.
Why?
Why are you doing this? And you know, there's apparently an old model Sentinel that comes in and kills Lourdes. But in conjunction, it's actually just an illusion. In conjunction with Emma Frost.
It looks like Drix.
Drix?
From Ozzy and Drix.
Oh!
That's Moses Jones.
I guess so.
I don't know, his head looks like a pill.
Yeah.
Anyway.
God. I really love him. I haven't seen Osmosis Jones in a long time.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
It's on HBO Max. Maybe I should watch that. I don't want to ruin memories for myself if it turns out.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe it's just a shit movie, but I don't know. Maybe I'm romanticizing Osmosis Jones in my head.
And inside the body of our favorite comedian,
Bill Murray. Oh, man. All right, so that whole thing went down, and it turns out it's an entire illusion. They basically made Sebastian Shaw think that Lourdes was killed, and they whisked off the real Lourdes off to safety. And at the same time, while they did all that, afterwards, they just went inside and killed every human at the Hellfire Gala, which is kind of fucked, if you think about it. These humans are just like, what did we do? But...
they tried to kill her.
Was the well, I guess like if the Sentinel was still real, I guess, but yeah, all those humans are dead, and Lourdes is free. The place where she was taken to, Emma Frost took her to the Kingpin's big old building back in New York.
This is when shit gets a little weird. Am I off base? Do you feel the same?
I don't know if
things get kind of hand wavy, kind of whatever.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it makes sense. I'm not like If there's anybody who can like give somebody a whole new life, give them an identity, it's probably Kingpin.
Sure, but at the same time, like, do you buy the fact that this is gonna plant a seed for a future plot with Kingpin involved, with Krakoa stuff, and Emma Frost,
I think
Sebastian Shaw?
Maybe. No, because I think Emma. The whole point is that like Emma does this in exchange for a favor from Kingpin. So like,
mind wiping somebody at some point, whatever. Like it was just brushed aside.
Actually, like Emma kind of like it. It's a blink and you're missing moment, but Emma does address the fact that she did work off the debt, like she made it right, so she's not currently in debt with the Kingpin. So
yeah,
I think it's more for I think that's like just an open plot thread that will be resolved later in terms of Sebastian probably looking for Lourdes anyway.
Whoa!
Yeah, the art.
His head looks like a pancake.
It's kind of funny. Like it feels like they just drew a circle and then randomly photoshopped a face onto it. It's kind of weird. It's like he's wearing a mask. It's bizarre. But in any case, after that, it's established Lourdes is alive and living under an assumed name, new life. And meanwhile, we cut back to the present. And that's when Sebastian is just taking all this information in. And he's like, it's all a lie. I was making money playing both sides. Then I thought she died, and it made me choose a side. And Emma dresses like, yeah, and we won, and we took over the Hellfire Club. We took over an island, a world, and this morning of solar systems. So as much as I hate you,
yeah.
I can't. I gotta admit, we couldn't have gotten this far without you. So
all's well that ends well, right?
So it worked out, right?
Okay, what's funny is that this was a very long and nuanced way of telling him, no, you won't see your wife again because you're a woman-beating asshole.
Yeah,
she wants to be away from you forever. And we retconned this story from 30 years or whatever ago just to bring it to your thing. Because, like, remember in the other comic? He was all, like, excited talking about Lourdes Chantel. And he's like, yes, we must bring her back. And I was just like, oh, all right. I didn't think they was leading this in to have a issue about confronting abusive spouses. And, I mean, whatever. That's cool that we're bringing attention to it. I don't have an issue with that. And there should be an awareness to it.
Agreed. But it is.
I'd be lying. I'd be lying if I told you I knew that was what the setup was for.
Yeah, I had no idea that this was coming. And I don't know much about it, so I wasn't like ultra invested in the whole Lourdes and Sebastian thing. I just thought they were like, oh, cool, we might get a new character that'll shake things up in the dynamic with the Marauders and with the Hellfire Club in general. But nope, Sebastian's just an asshole, and it's kind of interesting to think about. So Sebastian's just gonna. I feel like he's gonna get pushed more and more into a corner, where now he's just gonna have to start taking shit for himself because he's just getting punked by everybody else in the Hellfire Club. He's gonna be a very dangerous element, I think, because he's gonna reach a boiling point where, you can't. He's gonna get upset. They're gonna take one thing too much from him, and he's just gonna be like, "Oh, fuck everything."
That's in his nature, right? Since he was
because he's an asshole.
Super villain before.
I'm sorry. What were we gonna say, Josh? Before?
You know what? I honestly forgot. I think I was gonna say something about the fact that I pronounced Lourdes Chantel's name correctly. That kind of implied that I was at least mildly invested in this situation.
Yeah, I remember it. It wasn't a plot point I'd forgotten, and that happens a lot with X-Books sometimes because there's so fucking much of them. But
yeah,
but I don't know. This was Marauders. It was pretty good. I enjoyed the story. The retcon, I don't know how to. It's just kind of new information to me, so I wasn't invested in the retcon one way or another. If you guys have different thoughts about what do you think about Lourdes still being out there, how do you take that information? For as people who have read the original Hellfire Gala, let us know in the comments. But or email us at newjumpcitypod@gmail.com. But in any case, I suppose we should move on to our next X book. Josh, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right. Cable is the next one. This is Cable number 12, the final issue. Wrapping up.
He's a cool guy.
His eye glows. And all right, this is a cool cover though. You know, it's like one of them two-part covers where you put them together. It makes a whole image.
Oh yeah, because the previous one was the
Young Cable.
young boy Cable.
Young boy Cable.
But they're both swashbuckling, time-traveling
Robot arm. Cowboys.
defending the world. They're emo's wet dream.
So the majority of this issue is them raffle stomping Strife, which is just another Cable.
Yeah. Easy to forget that, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I forgot that.
it's
He looks like Batman, bro.
He does. That's exactly this first panel. He looks. I was like, all right, bootleg Batman. Let's fucking go.
Right.
Let's get over with it. All right, design of Batman they threw out, like a bat armor they threw out at one point. It's like, nah, too pointy, and that's why they got rid of it. Way too pointy, this design.
Way too edge.
Oh, such edge. But in any case, yeah, that's a lot of the. It's an entertaining battle. Honestly, I didn't hate reading it.
Takes a concussion beam to the face.
Yeah, he just. It's almost one-sided. He doesn't really get a solid, really lasting, effective hit on anybody because he's fighting 6 other mutants at the same time.
They jumping his ass right now.
Yeah. He's fighting Jean Grey, Cyclops, one of the Cuckoo sisters. He's fighting Deadpool as well.
Right. Deadpool's there too.
On top of 2 Cables, who are the baddest motherfuckers around across time and space.
Especially in this comic.
And there's a whole lot of like, hey, old man, and you youngins. It's like, all right, we get it. Old Cable's old. I'm sorry, I feel like I'm being overly mean to Cable. But
No, I love it. I don't give a fuck.
And Strife
well, whatever, attending.
Strife is just a hollow asshole. There's no like real depth to him. He's just like a mean guy who says mean things and does mean things.
Kills babies and wants to plot about how to take over the future when he's already in the future, but going to the past.
Yeah, there's no Cables.
Plan for the future.
He just fights. There's always a Strife and there's always a Cable, and they're always fighting each other throughout time and space. And
now there's always a young boy too.
Yeah, now they're
new.
just like, all right, you know how we're gonna beat Strife? We're gonna force him to fight 2 Cables at the same time now.
From 2 different sides of time.
So maybe the fight will be 25 minutes shorter every time. Because there's 2 people.
So we're gonna put the young one in the future and the old one in the past.
Yeah. No, he takes future Cable with him, no? That's the whole point of this. That's how kind of this Cable series ends, is that like old Cable is like, hey, young Cable, you got to come with me to the future so that, you know, we could both fight Strife across time and space together so we can make this easier on ourselves. And young Cable's like, all right, I guess I have to, because this is what we do. This is what Cable does. He just goes around fighting this one guy, apparently.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's a lot of plot points that are closed because this is a canceled series. Young Cable.
Oh, you gonna use the C word?
I think it was canceled. I could be wrong. I don't know. It's hard to tell. It's easier to read cancellations from Jump because it's such an established system. But with American comics, it's kind of difficult to tell. I like to think that this is probably canceled because, like X Factor, it's just kind of like wrapping everything up. You get an end narration for the last 5 pages where they're like, and so this happened, and then that happened, and then this happened, and all the plot points are closed. I guess he says goodbye to Esme. He says goodbye to his family, and he gets a new.
Check this out. He wastes the marker he earned from helping Wolverine out in Madripoor, wherever the fuck they were.
Tokyo, I think, actually.
Bringing some brewskis to his parents up in space to chill and have a good time. Like, Wolverine wasn't going to pull up and snatch this nigga's girlfriend anyway. Like, way to waste the marker, kid. You should have made him do something else.
It's also
I don't know.
Wolverine does that anyway.
Right.
I feel like Wolverine comes home with a 6-pack every day.
He's there for a good time every night.
Yeah, for real. But anyway, Cable goes to the future. I guess he gets a brand new future arm. Old Cable just yanks his arm off his body. Is like, give me this piece of shit. Take a Cable arm that's more like mine. And yeah, there you go. They're now fighting across time and space. And that's the end of Cable. There's apparently a baby Cable-esque Cable baby. Because he has the eye just like Cable. And I don't know what that's supposed to imply. This is just as another Cable. Is that supposed to be Strife? Never mind. It's just a Strife in our present time.
Yeah, it's definitely Strife. Come on, man. Yes.
Well, that's
he never dies, and there'll always be
a Strife. There will always be a Cable. I mean, what can we say about Cable? I feel like
you guys could tell that we didn't love it.
We did not love it, and it's because I was initially kind of excited for a Cable comic. I was like, oh, cool, Cable's cool. A whole series about a young Cable could be cool. But, I think it just, like, meandered for so long because it's been on this one plot point for 12 issues, and that's not usually American comic style. And it feels like I know why now. Because, like...
I mean, I don't even mind that happening. It wasn't executed properly at all.
Yeah, it wasn't a particularly...
In my opinion, though.
Yeah, it wasn't a particularly interesting arc. I feel like it got... There was like just so many distractions where we were just having Cable have guest stars every issue, and it's all like Cable regulars. And it's like you just have them on a team or something, have them work together in a Cable book. That wouldn't be so crazy. But I don't know. I guess it wasn't our bag. You can let us know what you thought about Cable. Are we being too mean to it? I don't want to be mean in case y'all like it. It's to each their own.
I feel bad, but
because it's not. That's the thing is, it's not terrible. I guess like it's just like kind of boring, and that's kind of worse than being bad. You know what I mean? Like, if it feels like I have to read, like this is one of the books. Is like I guess I have to read this. But
this is Cable, and they're gonna treat it like it's a big deal.
Yeah. But I don't know.
Yeah, I'll tell you this: the art always looked really nice.
Yeah, Phil Noto, I think, killed it every week that he was on this with the art. So there's that. But in any case, I think that's it. That's all I got for Cable. You guys ready to move on to our next X book?
Yeah.
All right. That brings us to... Oh, New Mutants is next. This is New Mutants number 20, which a cool-ass cover, by the way. I really dig this.
Yeah, dope.
All right, so last we left off, Scout, a.k.a. Gabrielle, a.k.a. yet another technically Wolverine clone.
Technically, yeah.
Technically, kind of, sort of. It's a clone of a clone.
Wow.
So that's a lot of degrees of separation, I guess, but...
It's like a screenshot of a screenshot.
Right. Yeah. In any case, yeah, she was just murdered by the Shadow King, and these young mutants...
Presumably.
Allegedly. She was murdered by the Shadow King, and her friends, these young mutants who have actually kind of cozied up to the Shadow King, are surrounding her like, oh my god, who could have done this? Who could
Definitely not our boss.
Definitely not
No way.
Shadow King, the creepiest looking man. Definitely not a man who calls himself the Shadow King. With a fez and a mustache and a pencil mustache. There's no way he could have done it.
Definitely not.
Let's just take him off the list. There's no way. So yeah, they're just kind of thinking about what to do. They're like, oh damn, should we tell the adults? And then all of a sudden, Gabrielle just comes back to life, and it turns out it's not Gabrielle, it's No Girl, the floating brain in a jar that apparently can just possess a dead body like this.
Yikes.
and she just takes over Gabrielle's body and starts talking in her dead body. I'm like, this is weird. All right.
It was very weird.
Yeah. So she's got an attitude and a half. This entire issue.
She has actual reasons for being upset, though. They kind of broke it down.
Yeah.
Which I appreciated.
Yeah, no, basically they're like, we can't trust the adults. No matter how much we go to them for help, they've like turned us away at every point. They turned away Cosmar. They turned away so many people, and we can't really trust them. So we should figure out what happened to Gabrielle on our own.
It's just Cosmar. That's the only one they dug. And I guess No Girl in the past. It's funny because the group is kind of divided on it. They're like, I don't know. We should probably just bring her corpse to them so she can get revived. Like, and maybe they'll figure out who murdered her or something.
Yeah, and then they
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but her
like they literally make the point that she had to have been murdered. It couldn't have been an accident because she could regenerate.
Exactly.
So something happened to her. Yeah.
Yeah, but she makes the point also that like they're worried that, you know, because Gabrielle's a clone, they won't resurrect her because that's kind of one of the rules of the resurrection process is that clones can't be resurrected or not allowed to be resurrected, which is pretty fucked up.
Yeah, it is.
I think that should be on a case-by-case basis. I don't know why Krakoa always works in extremes when it comes to rules. It's like we're either always doing this or never doing that. There's no like nuance in their rules. And maybe that's why Way of X is so interesting and important. It's like adding nuance to all of these things.
Yeah, plus I think a part of it is the fact that they use it to kind of have a way to objectively deny certain situations. Like I think the rules are broad to affect certain individuals, and anyone else who's lesser is just kind of a casualty in the situation. Mm-hmm. Like for example, they was not going to bring back Madeline Pryor.
No
matter what.
Not at all.
Wasn't happening, right?
No.
Duh. So what do in order to make people not so upset? And say, you know, it's not about her. They say, oh, no clones, right?
Yeah.
Still grimy, but I think that's the reason. Although I don't understand why they wouldn't say no. They should have went ahead and said no. What do you call that? People that see into the future.
Oh, no precogs. But that's like a strict. Yeah. That's a strict rule for Moira because she is kind of traumatized by precogs in the past.
True, and it is just their X gene manifestation. You know what I'm saying? It's not like they're unorganic. You know, like the clones are.
No.
So I could see why there's a difference. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Meanwhile, back at the Green Lagoon, Shadow King is just chilling at the bar with Rain.
He sure is.
He's like, he's so big. He's just like, yes, I would like a martini. But yeah, he's talking to Ron. I don't think that this girl can see. I forget her name. I'm sorry. We just had a whole arc with her, but I don't think she can see Shadow King. So it looks like Ron is talking to herself. And meanwhile, there is the rest of the New Mutants seems to be on a mission. There is a young mutant that has kind of torn apart this landscape, this like town where people lived at. A lot of people are hurt, and they're just trying to get a handle of the situation. So even amongst all the destruction, as they try to take this new mutant girl, the citizens of the town start to revolt against the mutants for taking the girl that started this whole mess. They're like, you just can't take her. You know, she's one of us. She's part of our community. And it's kind of like a really sweet moment where they're really advocating, even though she's like basically destroyed all their houses, they're still like advocating for her to remain part of their community and all that stuff. And even the New Mutants themselves also acknowledge, like, look, we're sorry we're so aggressive and try to take her, but, you know, we're not used to humans being so accepting to mutants, especially when their powers get out of whack and they fuck up.
Like this.
So, you know, she can stay, but they also, you know, they offer a safe haven as they do with every mutant. They're like, look, she's going to have to learn how to control her powers, and we'll be more than happy to do that. She's also welcome to Krakoa whenever she wants. She has a community with us. She could stay here. And if you want, with a little bit of notice, we can ask for authorization for one of you to come with her through the gate, to accompany her if she ever needs to come here. So kind of a nice little scene with the New Mutants. Did you have thoughts, Josh? I thought I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no.
Oh, okay.
I did not.
Anyway, back at Krakoa, the kids walk into Dakin, who's just like, "Hey, are you okay, Gabrielle? We didn't see you. Laura's like worried. Are you okay?" And no girl who is in Gabrielle's body.
Yo, she snaps on him.
Yeah, and I feel like this is a bit of an overreach for her. I get her kind of being a little angry about, just how adults handle things on Krakoa in general, but I feel like this is an overstep of a boundary where she basically curses out Gabrielle's family member. Despite how right she may be, it's not her place, and it's kind of weird. So
she was projecting her own, I think, thoughts, and she was just acting as if she was Gabby. I think that's what was weird, is that I felt like she used Dakin to kind of just vent, you know what I mean, and and project all that she's feeling.
Well,
and just kind of was sly about it because she kept using it through the perspective of Gabby, which is a lie, because I'm sure she, obviously she probably doesn't feel that way about her. It was really mean, actually.
Yeah,
because she knew what she was doing.
I think it's we've seen little glimpses where Gabrielle tries to talk to Dakin, and he's always kind of busy, chilling with Aurora and all that stuff. And we've had those little snaps, and we've had those that I could have sworn. Before the Hellfire Gala, we had a moment of reconciliation kind of between the two. It was right before Cosmar asked Moonstar to do the Crucible with her, but I could be misremembering. But in any case, I feel like the tension between them is a little known, and she just kind of jumped on that. So, she talks shit to Dakin about wanting to smash Aurora more than be a brother to her and all that stuff. And it's kind of, all right. Slow down.
Right. You're what, 11 years old, shorty?
Yeah, and you're not even Gabrielle.
Right. But I was oh, you went a little too far.
Yeah.
That shit is none of your business, no girl.
Yeah. As they continue to go into Krakoa, into the Magnus Arbor, I think it's called, where the resurrection stuff happens. Because their plan is essentially to get Gabrielle's resurrection data and try to manifest her consciousness into Gabrielle's dead body that they're walking around with right now. So,
wow.
Using their conjunction abilities, because they've been trying to do that to help Cosmar out. They've been trying to get Cosmar's consciousness into a different body, so they're trying to apply that on Gabrielle right now. And they have these little moments where they're reminiscing about how good a friend Gabby was to them, how she was always ready to help them, and how she never did that pause that other do when they look at Cosmo's face, or always always hung out with No Girl, even though No Girl couldn't talk. It's a sweet little moment. But they open the door, and Tempest is behind the door, just what the hell are you guys doing here? And they get the information about where the backups for the mutants are, and that's when they are approached by Ron, who's like, "What in God's name are you doing?" I can't do an Irish accent, but she's in her full beast form. I guess is about to chew out these kids, and the issue ends with Karma and Moonstar talking. She's like, Moonstar asks Karma if she's okay, and she says, "I think we need to talk about Ron." and that's where the issue.
Yeah, she's been wailing like for 6 issues straight.
Yeah.
It's time. It's time to check her. All her fucking wolf ass needs to get the fuck out of here.
Calm down. I like this issue. I feel like maybe New Mutants is kind of warming up to me. Was it incredibly stellar? No, but you know, I'm enjoying New Mutants now than I did before. I feel like I'm a little more invested. I'm getting more invested week by week now that I'm acclimating to who these people are, but it did take long to get here. And I wish it was a little easier to follow in terms of that, but I think I'm getting used to New Mutants, and I love this cover. It's so great. I think
this story's at its best when it's focusing on these younger kids and gives us little sprinkles of the older New Mutants.
I agree with that. I think that's
yeah,
that's what's interesting.
Because even if I didn't like grow up like reading their comics, I can appreciate mentor figures,
right?
And I can kind of put 2 and 2 together and know that they put in mad work as X-Men at some point.
Yes,
the legacy is there.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I just kind of assume it, and I have learned a lot about them via YouTubers talking about their other stories and shit. So I know, especially like prominent characters like Magic and Danny Boonstar. No, let me stop. She's not prominent at all. But she's a big deal. She's New Mutant fans, so you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's why I feel like it's at its best when it's mostly the kids, mostly the new, sprinkle of the old.
Yeah.
Like vanilla ice cream with rainbow sprinkles. Yeah. Yeah.
That's a good analogy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I also wish that there was more like just mentorship. I wish that like each one of these kids was kind of like, you know, a student of one of the New Mutants.
Yeah.
And I like the whole premise of this. Like, I like that this issue, the little B story with the New Mutants that saved that one new, for lack of a better term, New Mutant again, with the, I guess, seismic powers. I thought that was kind of like a nice scene. The premise of them looking out for a literal younger generation of mutant is a good one. I just wish there was a little more interaction between the two teams, because that's part of the reason I'm not super invested, is that these stories seem so separate from each other to a degree, with the one unifying tie being Shadow King. But
yeah,
I don't know.
In between both of them, right, with the story with Rand and with the children. So
yeah. Otherwise, it doesn't really gel super well. I wish that there was more just interaction between the two. But yeah, that's all I gotta say about New Mutants. It's I'm warming up to it. Hopefully, it just like steadily improves more and more. I'm not fully sold on it yet, but I'm getting there. Ready to move on, Josh?
Definitely.
Let's do it. This is S.W.O.R.D. number 7. And we're just smack dab in the middle of an event.
So is there an event going on?
Yeah.
And this is a part of it?
Yes, this is a rehash. This is a rehash.
I didn't know.
Yeah, The Last Annihilation. If you read up top, it's happening throughout. It's happening throughout the space books. You know, like Guardians and Guardians of the Galaxy, and there's like a reading order in the end of this book that's not the X-Men books. So,
interesting.
So it's Guardians of the Galaxy. There's the next Cable book, a Wiccan and Hulkling book, The Last Annihilation.
Is there going to be another Cable book?
No, just like a mini.
Cable
shot.
Reloaded.
Yeah, a one shot for this event. So we're smack dab in the middle of it. We're probably not going to follow this, because it spins out of more than likely Guardians of the Galaxy, which we haven't been reading.
Yeah.
But it seems, I know that there's an event called Annihilation, so this is just another hash of that, which is what Marvel does and DC does. It's just like
just the fucking
reliving the oldies,
yeah.
You know. But in any case, this is number 7 of S.W.O.R.D. There's a lot of tie-in stuff that I don't understand. Apparently, space and magic are clashing. whoever is the bad guy for this annihilation event is using very complex and very intricate magic. So it's really fucking with the space people. Meanwhile, back on Araco, Dr. Doom is having a dinner with Storm, having some spicy rich people dialogue.
Oh, spicy.
Yeah, where it's like
the type of talk reserved for the bosses, as Rick Ross would say.
Yeah, I agree with that. So Dr. Doom is out here just flirting with Storm, trying to get in her good graces.
Trying.
And he's basically explaining like, all right, so let's get down to it. Let's talk about the Mysterium you guys got. And I don't know if you guys know, but it's pretty dangerous, and I wouldn't fuck with it too hard. So, he's saying that, like, be careful. You are dabblers, and in this arena, at this scale, there are unintended consequences of dabbling that can be severe. The wrong symbol or metaphor can destroy you, which is kind of like, I'm not sure what he's talking about, because I don't really know how the Mysterium works, and I guess that's why they call it that. But in any case, meanwhile, S.W.O.R.D itself is preparing to go assist the Alliance with these magic people. And at the same time, Storm is just like, Krakow! I got no time for your shit, Dr. Doom. Because Dr. Doom offers to help them out, figuring out the Mysterium. And she's like...
He really tries to talk to her like, oh, you guys are a budding new nation messing with things out of your control, and you need my guidance because I have experienced unlimited power and control. And then Storm reminds him like, yeah, nigga, you failed. Mad time.
Yeah.
Like, we got this, dog. Like, fuck out of here. I ain't gonna try to owe you no... He's like, yes, I will tell you what to do, and then we shall discuss how you will pay your debt.
And Storm,
fuck out of here, Dr. Doom.
Storm has a really cool line where she's like, and while I thank you for your generous offer to help us learn to crawl, it comes late. We are already flying, my guy. So, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, pretty cool indeed.
Yeah, she turns down to him and is like, why would we need you? And Doom is like, oh, you're going to regret doing that. I tend to do really petty things when people do.
That's exactly what it is.
Last
the
time,
threat of his pettiness.
Last time somebody did this to me, I ended up a god of a new reality. So, we'll see about that. Meanwhile, we get a callback to the old Empire days where we had like a post-credit-esque scene where it looked like S.W.O.R.D went and fucked up Hulkling's entire army. But
yeah,
turns out, no, that's not what happened.
Nope.
I guess it was this entire annihilation event that was actually gleaning towards, because S.W.O.R.D shows up and actually fights alongside Hulkling and the rest, and they basically continue to fight these monsters, and that's kind of where the issue ends. As far as the annihilation event stuff goes, I have no idea. Very sorry, but I haven't read any of it. As far as the stuff that directly pertains to the overall story of the X-Men, I thought it was kind of cool. There's like a little bit of a plot. There's like little nuggets and plots opening up. Clearly, even though that we don't really know exactly what's going on with the annihilation stuff, this aid that they're providing to Hulkling is basically just trying to get into his good graces and maybe pull him away from the Avengers, because the Avengers didn't show when he was calling. So,
well, this is completely manufactured by Abigail. I mean, this is, if you ask me, this is a super relevant issue to the overall S.W.O.R.D and X-Men story, because number one, he doesn't know about Wanda yet. I guess Wiccan and Hulkling doesn't know, and they even tried communicating with her, so they know something's weird, but they don't know she got murdered on Krakoa yet.
Mm-hmm.
So she intercepted the messages that was supposed to go to the American government, and then to also contact the Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Sly is, people are gonna find out. He's gonna eventually say, "Oh, you guys weren't there for us." I'm gonna say, "What the fuck are you talking about? We never got a message." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just gonna hit the fan. I'm pretty surprised that Abigail handled it like that. I thought that was very aggressive and borderline sloppy.
Yeah. I mean, she's been aggressive this entire time. She basically
Super aggressive.
she
That's
chose
why
a
there's
winner.
S.W.O.R.D, right?
Yeah. She chose a winner for a fucking war already. So it's kind of funny. It's aggressive, but at the same time, it's not. You know what I mean? There's a hint of subtlety to it. She's playing 4D chess at this point, where she always happens to be in the right place at the right time, and people aren't really in a position to even question that. But I think it's very interesting. S.W.O.R.D is so good, even when you don't really know of the other overall circumstances to a story. S.W.O.R.D is great. But that's all I gotta say about this one. You ready to move on to our final X book? Then let's do it. This is Wolverine number 14. That's what it is. Wolverine is basically at Madripoor to investigate the burned Marauder, the ship that the Red Queen Kitty Pryde uses. It was in the middle of delivering these logic crystals, and something attacked it and left Christian Frost, Emma Frost's brother, for death. But he survived. I thought he was dead. He lived. He made it. And now Wolverine is investigating the scene of the crime. He finds little clues here and there, and with the help of Emma Frost, he sees that somebody managed to escape the ship alive, and Wolverine uses his many leads to find out who it is. It's just a guy who was burned alive during the initial fire, but made it, and
call him Mummy Man.
Yeah, Mr. Mummy Man. And Wolverine's like, all right, look, we could either do this the easy way, or I can cut you up real bad with my clothes. I'll cut you bad. Yeah. And so the guy who was burned alive explains that, yes, they seem to be these Russian operatives who have infiltrated the Marauder to steal the crystals. But when they got there, it was not so great, because they were confronted by a giant muscular man with this weird luchador looking mask, and he seems to be dripping acid everywhere. They tried to shoot him up, but he was bleeding acid that ripped through the ship's hull and all that stuff. So yeah, he the only identifying feature that the guy could make out was a tattoo on this dude's palm that looked like his mask, which is a weird bug thing. Wolverine takes it over to Sage, and she tracks it down to this Iraqi guy named Severe Blackmore. Cool.
Yeah, pretty dope.
And so Wolverine goes back to Madripoor, that looks like Tortuga from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, definitely. Sage actually brings up the fact that the Russians had the cerebral sword, which was nice, because it's been mad long since they addressed that plot point.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're saying that that's probably, that was the motivation behind the Russians trying to take the logic crystals, but they said I think somebody else ended up taking them, right? Not the Russians? I don't remember.
I mean, that's why they're going to see Sever to find out who took them, I think. Because Sever didn't manage to get away with them, I think, but somebody did. So Wolverine pulls up to Tortuga, and he finds Sever Black, whatever, fighting in some weird Mad Max water polo thing. And Wolverine's like, I'll take you on. And he's like, you are small. There's no way you could defeat me. And he's like, I'm still going to do it. And they joust. They fall off of... they both kind of end in a draw in the official weird...
Yeah, they both get eaten by sharks. So I guess they both lose.
Yeah, they both get eaten by sharks, but they break out using their powers. Because what are sharks to these guys?
Nothing. Children.
And
mere cockroaches.
Yeah. So they talk about what happened, and he's like, "All right, so look, I didn't. Here's the story: is like the reason I was on that ship was the same reason I lost my nose. Solemn fucked me. I guess.
Hey, yo!
Not in that way. I guess
Whoa!
Solemn inconvenienced me."
And he inconvenienced you too, since you're talking about him. That's what that means.
Yeah.
That he infiltrated you as well.
Yeah, so I guess Solemn chopped off this dude's nose, and he's behind this entire thing, which is cool. An interesting Wolverine issue that doesn't directly deal. That's not directly part of an event. Wow, I'm excited. I like this issue, and I like that Solemn's back. I thought he was kind of like an interesting foil to Wolverine. I forgot what his abilities were exactly, but his
skin is the same as this dude's bones.
Right. Okay.
He's like an insect.
Okay. Cool.
Shell on the outside. Adamantium skin. Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, he's the villain of this arc. I'm here for it. It's not the dumbass vampire thing or whatever he was doing with the CIA with the pale girl or whatever. So
yeah,
I'm here for it. It feels like a good singular enemy, a good rivalry for Wolverine to face off against. They already have a history, so I'm here for it. I don't really got much to say about Wolverine. I thought this issue was one of the better ones. Wolverine has also been struggling in the same way that kind of Cable has, in my opinion. It's not super fun to read until this point. So hopefully, again, another rise is on the way. That's all I got to say about it, though. Any thoughts before we move on, Josh?
Nah, man, I'm excited that Solemn is back. And I want to see how far they take the story. I hope that this isn't just about to be a bang bang two issue thing.
Yeah, I hope this could be a cool Wolverine story where it's a cool slash 'em up, just fuck shit up thing. No more investigations. It's time for Wolverine to be Wolverine. I guess have some battle.
Right.
Anyway, I guess we should move on to our next. We're done with the X-Books, so we're moving on to our next book. Here we go.
なんというビッグニュース
Daredevil.
Yeah, so because this is the last issue, and obviously no other issue could be this, I don't think I'm jumping the gun by saying this is the VGI.
Yeah.
Certified VGI.
Are there any of the X-Books that I enjoyed slightly better than Daredevil this week? Nah.
Certified VGI.
This is Daredevil number 32. Last we left off, Bullseye has been freed after being, I guess, genetically modified by Kingpin and his people. So he's like more Bullseye than ever, and he's just out here randomly sniping people. It's kind of it's terrifying, honestly.
Yeah.
So there's this one panel. I don't know if you can help me determine what this is, but there's a guy on fire there. I don't know what this is.
Oh, that's the Human Torch.
Okay. It kind of
just... They're talking about how the heroes are looking around.
I see. Gotcha. And Daredevil is now also on the case. Elektra Daredevil. And meanwhile, Typhoid Mary is gearing up to go hunt down Bullseye herself. And Kingpin is like, no, I need you to stay here with me. And
no, he said, you will stay here with you. And she said, say you need me.
Not even that, just like, ask me to do it.
I need you.
Yeah, he's like, stay with me, please.
Stay with me, please.
Please don't go.
Oh, yeah, please.
Please.
Please stay. And that's enough for her, I guess.
Yeah, she's like, all right, since you asked.
At least
so
she fixed her face to say it.
Yeah. You stay here with me, please don't forget. Please don't leave me. So Daredevil's on the case. She's just like, oh man, fuck this dude. I hate Bullseye.
Yeah, like, man, he's killing everybody. Killed me before.
Yeah, this guy in
Killed
particular.
all the people I cared about.
Yeah. That's when Spider-Man pulls up. You know, I guess like he's
Nice.
Daredevil police. Wherever Daredevil goes, he's just like out here. He's like, oh, it's you, isn't it, Elektra? And she's like, wow, yeah, it's me. I use a size. Good job.
Great guess.
Good job. Meanwhile, back in prison, Daredevil is just thinking on the massive disrespect he laid down to the warden. He's like, yeah, he's pretty pissed at me right now. He's probably going to send some people to murder me right now. So, you know, he puts on his mask, and all the guards are just outside pointing their guns through the wall, and they're like, he's never gonna react to this in time. Not at all.
The superhero Daredevil? Nah. I doubt it.
Meanwhile, outside at night, Hammerhead, one of the crime bosses of the city, is just walking down the street, and that's when he's approached by Butch, the son of the Kingpin, Wilson Fisk. He pulls up, he's like, hey, are you going to snitch on me to Izzy Liberis? Because, you know, we planned on killing her, and you're going to tell her everything, huh?
Remember?
You gonna sing, buddy? You're gonna sing to Izzy? And he's like, whatever, bruh, none of your fucking business. And you know, Butch basically reveals himself as the guy who's trying to, you know, take it all, take the whole city. And he and Hammerhead fight for a while. He does a cool like neck palm thing, and
That makes a great point.
yeah, he's like, you're probably used to fighting super strong people who are used to punching your big dumb metal head, but I just go for the neck. Right.
And I guess they beat down his fucking metal head because they don't want to kill him.
I guess, yeah.
Like if Spider-Man did that to him, he'd probably die.
Yeah.
Probably chop his head off.
Yeah. I guess like he gouges out his eye too, and Mike Murdock is watching in the distance like, damn.
Oh shit!
Wow. I think I fucked up.
Ooh.
I don't think he knew how real this was about to get.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Elektra arrives home, and, you know, after a hard day's work at the office, and she's thinking to herself, Bullseye's body count is nearing the triple digits. And I'm like, sheesh. How is he just killing hundreds of people in New York? That's crazy. Hundreds of people die in New York in the Marvel Universe every day. How does this city still have a population in this universe?
I don't know. It must be worse in other places.
It's not even.
Maybe the gas is really high everywhere else, and the rent is super low and all of that here in the city since everyone always dies. So it's like, I mean, hey, I might get smoked tomorrow, but my rent's only $200 for this 3-bedroom. I'd still live there.
I honestly,
I tell you that.
I mean, you know, you gotta take your chances. Times are hard.
Yeah.
I'm not even talking about that on that level though, because it feels like with every attack, there's got to be at least 100 casualties, at the very least. Every time there's like a big old supervillain scuffle. So,
yeah, definitely.
So,
I mean, and that's without guys like Bullseye catching headshots in the street.
Right.
I mean, just from offhand explosions and, you know.
Yeah. So if
scraps from fights.
If regular as Bullseye is taking out like triple digit numbers, how many have Null taken out? How many people can possibly live in this city to kill? You know?
Countless.
Yeah.
I mean, there must be some type of super duper overpopulation situation going on. That's probably what the end game of all Marvel is going to be. That was the whole,
Yeah.
I'm going on too much of a tangent, bro. I do want to make a point about the child, right? Because she starts thinking about like how he was able to like kill 100 people here and then kill 100 people right over there around like immediately after. Like there's no way he could have got there, drop like running. That there's been no cars driving. So what's he doing? And in my mind, I instantly assume like he's working with God. Like what? That confirms it. That's who came to him, and he's praying to his Lord, and he's bringing him to different rooftops. I mean, I thought that was a pretty good explanation before what we were shown on the next couple pages.
Yeah. Yeah, all this information is kind of like ruminated over with the girl, the young girl that has been staying with Elektra, who they had a falling out, and she came back and basically is like, yeah, he's just everywhere. How is he getting places? And then she notices, oh shit, there's another shooting. So Elektra goes off to go deal with that. Meanwhile, back at the prison, Matt Murdock lays the fucking beats on these dumb guards who all just come in like,
COs.
After bullets don't work, they just decide to take their nightclubs and like walk in to the cell and try to take them down that way. So Daredevil beats them up, and he's like, this is kind of cool, where he's like, what did he tell you? That I'm just a man? That it would be easy?
He's not showing out.
Yeah, I'm not just a man. I'm the Judeo-Christian devil. There's no way to defeat me.
I'm the fallen angel.
Yeah.
Falling down the house kitchen.
Yeah. One of these dudes, the gun's jammed, and then Daredevil just kind of like, I guess he takes it from him, and he's like, I'm Daredevil. I destroy supervillains, and you're all just regular villains.
Disrespect.
Yeah, so he handcuffs all of them and then leaves them in his own cell. And he's like, Warden snapped sooner than I expected. Means he's nervous. Let's go see what he's nervous about. With a gun and a nightstick in the other hand. Man, Matt Murdock is pretty gangster in this prison. I'll give him that. He's been pulling off some pretty cool moves. Meanwhile, back in the outside world, Daredevil finds Bullseye, who's just standing there cheesing. Just like, yeah, I just killed like 12 people. Yeah.
Yeah. He has no issue with the fact that he just got caught by Elektra.
Yeah.
He's very happy about this.
He's like, didn't I kill you before?
Oh, yeah.
Meanwhile, Daredevil gets there to wherever he was supposed to go. There's this big metal science door. And you already know some wild shit's behind that door. And concurrently, the battle between Bullseye and Elektra is happening. Elektra actually gets kind of the hand on him for a second. She like twists the knife out of his hand. And he's like, "Oh my god, I could just kill you right now! Holy shit!"
Nice.
It's like, "Oh, I want to so badly. Fuck! I never wanted to kill anybody more." Daredevil waltzes into the science room, and they're working on some science thing. Nobody knows what yet. But, you know, as Daredevil is like, freeze! That's when their weird tank thing just explodes. And back at Bullseye's fight, I guess Elektra decides, like, all right, I'm killing this guy.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, you know what?
This is getting way too difficult.
Yeah, changed my mind. Fuck this guy. Fuck Matt's rules. He's killed like so many people. This is ridiculous. He should not be alive.
Yeah, fuck the character development. Fuck the Daredevil suit.
Yeah.
And fuck that little girl that I tried to tell her a different way. I'm just gonna murder this guy. That's it.
Yeah. But it doesn't work out for her very well because as she's going in to plunge the knife in her into the Bullseye, she gets stabbed from behind by another Bullseye.
Who's accompanied by another Bullseye.
And on top of the rooftop, there's another Bullseye.
Yeah, so that's 4 at minimum.
Yeah, yeah. In the immediate surrounding area, there are 4 Bullseyes. One of them I do like how one of them's just chilling on the rooftop with the gun drawn. She's like, ha! I'm here too for backup.
Raiden clones.
Yeah, for real. and that's where the issue ends. Pretty cool.
So let me ask you something totally unrelated to Daredevil. When Kakashi used his Raijin clones, right? Were they any different from Shadow clones? Did they do something special?
Yes.
Or were they just clones made out of electricity?
Yeah, they electrocute you when you strike them.
When you make physical contact.
When I remember,
Oh, that's really cool.
the way I remember it is someone like stabbed Kakashi, and then it turned out to be just a lightning clone, and then I guess the lightning went through the knife and electrocuted whoever stabbed him.
Yeah, that's pretty sick.
It is pretty sick. That
I think the water, the water clones too. Like, there's another person who used like the, shadow clones but with water. I forget who it was. Maybe the Fishman guy with the sword.
Zabuzai used it.
Yeah, they didn't do nothing special though, right? They were just made out.
No, they
of
were
water.
just made out of water. I think. I think that's a common technique from where Zabuza's from. They just turned into water.
Just to use something out of water instead of shadows. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Hey, it beat away. Anyway,
Yeah.
that's
No.
Daredevil.
Yeah, this is a dope chapter. This is a dope. Issue.
Oh man, I mean, what a twist! I didn't see that
I
coming.
really hope Elektra doesn't die here. But they all could shoot her right now and turn her to Swiss cheese.
They really could.
It's not fair when you have the power of your Lord and Savior behind you.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're right about that.
Elektra denounced it.
That's her problem, man. She didn't accept.
Bullseye was always true to himself. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That's the difference.
Like, who am I kidding?
No.
I have a bullseye engraved onto my forehead. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm not gonna be a barista. You know what I mean? There's only one thing I can do.
Like Elektra trying to Hummerstein and be Daredevil.
Mm-mm.
You're a murderer.
Yeah. Imagine that's her last words. She's like, "Ugh, I should have never stopped murdering.
Being assassin.
I should have never stopped taking lives." I don't know.
Part-time Murdoch stalker.
Yeah, Daredevil's great. I mean, what else is there to say? What news? You know, it'll be more.
Yeah.
It'll be more.
I mean, it beat out 5 other X-Books.
I mean, honestly, it was a close race. I really like S.W.O.R.D.
Beat out 2 weeks of X-Books.
Yeah. If you're not reading Daredevil,
GG.
we say it every time. Hold on, let me get your drop.
We call that Easy Money GG.
So.
It wasn't easy, but it was definitely GG.
Yeah. I mean, that's it for all the American comics. Want to do a quick thing about Loki? Why not? Real fast.
Sure.
All right, let's do it. We'll do quick thoughts about Loki real fast. This is a very spoiler heavy thing, so if you haven't seen Loki, let us know. Oh, don't let us know. I mean, I guess just don't watch this or listen to this.
Yeah, just let it go and watch it, guys.
Just watch
a YouTube, summary or something.
Yeah, we're not gonna
then come back and listen.
Yeah, we're not doing a whole big summary, but generally, I thought this was interesting. Kang is for sure the new big bad at the end of the tunnel here.
Pretty dope. Pretty dope.
Well, I don't even know if he's like at the end of the tunnel because Kang overall is just such a dick in most realities that there's plenty of people that you could use in his name that aren't Kang the Conqueror. So
for sure.
Yeah. I thought the guy who played He Who Remains was pretty cool. I think he's a dude from Lovecraft Country.
Yeah,
that's what I heard. He did a
He's
great
such a good
job.
fucking
I mean,
actor
he
in
had
that
me on the
shit, yeah.
edge of my seat. I'm sorry, I'm gonna jump ahead of you and just be like,
Go for it.
I love the ending. I thought it was incredible. The last scene wasn't like a 10 out of 10. There was things that could have been better, but it was still very, very good. Now go ahead. I just had to get that up.
No, I totally
I
agree
was
with you.
So entertained.
I totally agree with you that the last few episodes were amazing. I don't know a lot about Kang, so this is like just kind of fun new territory for me. I very much enjoyed it. Loki was interesting. Like a lot of these Marvel shows, I was just like, I ranked in terms of interest. I guess WandaVision being at the top, and I guess Loki being somewhere in the middle, and Captain America: Winter Soldier was the one I was least excited about. And it got like weirdly swapped around as the show started coming out. Loki is like kind of taking the top spot kind of by force, by being ostensibly probably the most important one of these series on a plot level, you know.
Yeah.
I very much appreciated it. I thought it was a unique take on time travel stuff that didn't get too bogged down in the rules of it. So, you know, happy that was the thing. Any thoughts on your end, Brian?
Loki was a series that surprised me a lot. Like, I didn't think I would end up liking it just because of the way it was the trailer was made and the way it was marketed. But holy fuck, that shit was 10 times better than I thought it would be. Loki was a really great character. I loved like all the things that it set up. I think Jonathan Majors is a fucking incredible actor. So it's just nice to be able to catch him playing potentially multiple roles in one role.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that guy's gonna be paid. He's gonna be in like multiple Marvel movies at this point.
He's going to be in multiple Marvel movies, maybe multiple Marvel shows. Like, it's what I really like about Marvel nowadays is that it looks like they're really using everything they have available to them. Like, it's not just it's just stars who star in the movies. It's pretty much everybody. Everybody's getting their own thing, and it's not like they're exempt from being in the movies like they did with the Marvel Netflix TV shows. They're actually having it connect to their main story, and these guys could potentially show up in the future.
Yeah. I think they kind of realized they had to do something like that, though. Because the main core of the Marvel Cinematic Universe at this point, they're all getting old, and they're not going to be able to do these characters forever, so they really got to branch out. I think Kevin Feige has said as much, where they're like, yeah, we realize that these people are going to turn 50 at some point and are not going to be able to jump around and do shit without absolutely blasting their knees apart. So we might as well just like kind of expand our universe and open the possibilities of multiple realities. So, you know, we could just do different. You could keep these characters in the game, but not have them attached to actors for the most part. So, yeah, I feel like there's a more practical choice than anything, but. It's this was great. No, you definitely got to watch it if you're going to continue to watch the rest of the MCU at this point. Loki's kind of required watching at this point.
Oh yeah, for sure. This is the stepping stone.
Yeah, and who knew?
For everything.
But yeah, those are just quick thoughts on my end. I don't know if you guys had anything else to add before you move.
I think it's important to note that Loki and WandaVision actually synergizes really well.
Yeah.
There's a lot of theories actually just that the moment that she had that Wanda had, like, you know, I guess turned into a Nexus being where she obtained that power and took all of the power away from what was her name? Agatha?
Yeah, Agatha.
What's her name?
Yeah,
right?
It was Agatha.
Yeah. That Nexus event was what triggered everything to start fraying.
Mm-hmm.
In the scene when he says, "Oh, we're past like the threshold." It was a video I seen where they was basically talking about the scenes lined up. Apparently, you know what I'm talking about. I thought it made a lot of sense. It's apparently a lot of movies do that. This is something that's very common, and it could just be super coincidence. But I think it's cool because I mean, look. The realities were already converging before because of like the shit that the female Loki did, but they all started going crazy after a certain moment.
Yeah,
I think that's cool. I like the synergy, and after seeing this is more of a comment on the entire lineup of the Marvel shows we got over the summer. They were all incredible. I would argue to say that this format has so much more potential than any of the movies would. I mean, the Avengers movies are a big deal, especially Infinity War and Endgame. I mean, those were incredible to watch in the movies, but it's just something, you know, just the advantage of an episodic series. You're able to stretch things out and really add so much more depth and detail than you would trying to clean it all up for a couple hours on the screen. It's amazing. I thought it was super entertaining, very high quality. I felt like I was watching a movie every week with all of these shows.
Yeah.
Even when I didn't care for the episodes, it still was incredibly cinematic. WandaVision was probably you could tell they did that. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if they actually did that one first, but I do feel like that was maybe like the choppiest of them all. Mm-hmm. But even then, it was still high quality.
Yeah.
I didn't care for I wasn't really interested in any of these shows outside of WandaVision when they were first announced, and I can't say that anymore.
Yeah.
And then they announced that there's going to be a part 2 to Loki.
Yeah.
I hope it happens before the next wave of movies. That would be really cool.
Well, that's not going to happen
nice setup.
We have 3 movies.
Oh, no?
This year alone, there's like 3 movies coming out. So.
Yeah, but they're whack. Who cares?
Doctor
Are we
Strange.
counting Black Widow?
Doctor Strange is one of them. Right?
Are you serious? That's coming out this year?
I think so, yeah. At the end of the year.
Oh, shit. Oh, okay. Never mind. Never mind.
We also have Shang-Chi, and I think Spider-Man also comes out this year. Spider-Man's pretty good. You're not excited for
Yeah, Spider-Man's good. So there's 2 movies coming out.
Yeah. Who knows? There's also a bunch of Marvel shows coming out as well. These aren't the last ones.
Ooh.
There's Miss Marvel, She-Hulk, Moon Knight is getting a series. I'll watch all of them still. I'm...
Sure, you're right.
You know
I
what?
don't care now, but it might be lit.
You know what it is, man? It's just like after all these shows have just... because they throw so much at these shows that now I'm like, all right, I trust these now. They seem to be really investing into these things, and I can ride along as well.
Sure.
But I don't know. That's all I got to say about Loki and the Disney Plus shows. They're all pretty high quality stuff. Nothing's perfect. And maybe WandaVision is probably better than I thought, and I'm just being like, yeah. But
maybe watch it again.
Maybe.
Did you binge it before, or you watched it week by week?
I watched it week by week. I mean, I would like to do...
I watched it all together.
Yeah, every now and then I do like rewatches of all these movies and stuff, so, I can easily do that. But in any case, it is time to close out the show. Thank you guys so much for listening. You could find me at the Chris Espinal, at b.esp, at jdcole_37. Follow the show itself at New Jump City on Twitter and Instagram. Wait, damn it. I don't know why I just blanked out right now. But anyway, comment, subscribe, like the show if you like it, share it. Subscribe to us on iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts. We are likely on there. So get on it. Email us at newjumpcitypod@gmail.com with any questions, suggestions, anything you guys want to talk to us about. Next week, we'll be back to basics. Jump is back. Jujutsu Kaisen makes its triumphant return. We're going to have a lot of fun next week. I'm so excited. But till then, stay safe, New Jump citizens, and see you next week.
Peace out, guys.